He was huffing and puffing, and he was trending on the internet just for taking deep breaths before the episode even came out when they showed the preview of it. And before I knew it, after the 30-second trailer, my pants were off, and that wasn't even on my own accord. The lounge, or should I say, the Lightskin lounge. Now, to give some backstory on this, we're gonna have to go back to the summer of 2023 when I released my Vinland Saga video. And in that video, I think it was the first time I introduced or spoke of said lounge. And I kind of just said it as like stupid little part of the video. But as I continued to talk about it in a couple later videos I made, I was like, maybe this could be like a little video series, you know, but I do want to give credit specifically to CJ the Champ, because it's the same sort of concept as like the Black Air Force roundtable. Full credit to him, because this is his idea from what I've seen. So I figured that concept with light skinned characters, boom, nice little banger. But with that being said, I also want to shout out another creator, being Olo, and if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, I apologize, but I saw that he also made 2 Gojo Lightskin videos himself. So I just wanted to shout him out, because I promise I'm not biting that or anything. It's just Gojo. We know what he brings to the table. He's had light skin characteristics since day one, so of course he has to be in the lounge. But I just wanted to shout out to him as well. And before I elaborate a bit, the criteria to get into the lounge, it's still a work in progress and the list is fluid. You don't have to hit all of these marks, but you have to be like encompassing most of it. You know what I'm saying? But there's also just a feeling you kind of get from a character off the bat, just off of how they move, just off of how they operate. And radiating during golden hour, I mean, you could just tell. That's like a very important one, I'd say, for the lounge. And they might not even have a scene involving golden hour, but you know, if you get them in the middle of a field, 5 to 6 p.m. roughly, when the sun's about to set, if you look them in your eyes, no matter which way you swing, you'll be encompassed by their look, wanting to kiss them type of shit. So that's number one, has a way with words. Whether the shit's disrespectful or poetic, it doesn't matter, because Gojo and Thorfinn, night and day. But both of them, they talk to me, they could get my shit jumping. Pause on that. That's number 2. Number 3 is just being the embodiment of like TikTok slang, or a riz d'amour. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you could say one of those words, and this character being an extension of that word, that's also another great trait we're looking for in the lounge. The ability to be able to control chalantness at will. I mean, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the unnecessary swagger during high stakes situations. Gojo being a prime example that we'll see in a few minutes. And then there's the look. That's all I gotta say. I can't explain it. As I said, if you know, like, you'll just know. You'll be like, damn, that's the look. Like, you'll just be like, damn. I'll get you your complimentary shirt and I'll get your membership card sent to you in the mail. You're in. Do you want a lanyard too? And then lastly, I had in here as a little extra credit assignment, could hit the slut me out walk if necessary. That walk is really just like a making your presence be known type of thing. And I'd say I've been practicing my own. If I'm just like walking around at like Universal, for example, like I'll just hit that shit randomly. And I mean, it works. With that one, I don't necessarily know in what way it works, but for me, I feel like if I was looking at me walk this way, I would be like stoked to see it, you know? So I could only imagine a character hitting this shit with proper authority. But no, so I mentioned Gojo and I mentioned his birth, and I'm gonna get to that a bit later. But I think we should just start where it all began, episode 1. And you see, the first example we have is when he fought Sukuna for the first time. And obviously, Itadori just ate Sukuna's finger. He's one-fingered Sukuna, whatever. Like, Megumi could probably take this nigga on if he really wanted to. Probably not. But we see Gojo toying with him for 10 seconds. Everyone knows this scene. When he tries blitzing Gojo, and then Gojo sits on the nigga's lower back and starts farting on him. And he was just talking his shit to him. And I realized I was even making videos when Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 was coming out, actually. But looking back at this now, this is leaning into that unnecessary swagger factor. And I think at this time, he also just came back from Macy's after buying some Spice Bomb. I feel like that's what he would wear. So you know he's already smelling fresh because he sampled a couple. Hey yo, Secondis, my students here, so I'm gonna show off a little. Is that straight with you? And I remember seeing this shit for the first time, and the movements and spins that he had Sukuna doing, the camera angles that they were getting on this shit was so fucking crispy. Then he had Sukuna just tweaking out, and on the 7th second, he's sitting here smirking. At the time when I'm watching this, I couldn't grasp fully if this was his caramel coolness at work or if this was just a smile of a maniac. Maybe a little bit of both, but that just gave us a sneak peek into what he was capable of. And I'd say the next example is really when he made his case for Light Skin of the Year, I think in like 2021, 2022, whenever season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen came out. And I was talking Light Skin of the Year at the time, but I already knew this nigga was a member of the lounge once he started doing foreplay with Jogou. As soon as he started toying with this nigga, I knew that this was a guy that I wanted in my club. Man, I iced that dumbass. That shit was a piece of molten. It's just light work, I swear to God. Man, it's shit like this that causes pollution in this world. Like, I'm tired of all these fossil fuels. Are you calling me prehistoric, nigga? And how the fuck you still up? Or TikTok Riz Party, swag, you name it, I got it. Man, what fucking language are you speaking, dumbass? I'm speaking straight light skin, boy. Something that your little science project volcano head ass wouldn't understand. Come touch me, I'll show you what I mean. No, come touch me, please, I'm begging you. Like, seriously. Please, just come touch me. Alright, fine, just don't make this shit weird, nigga. Like, what do you do? Now, first off, why is a curse are you coming to try and touch me like I'm asking you to do that? Me and you are not cool, nigga. Like, so, but I'll give you the rundown because, see, I can touch you, but you cannot touch me. And you see, I can feel upon these wretched cursed fingers. This is why I always have my infinity on. I'm feeling up in your fingers, and I can tell that you wipe with your hands, you nasty ass nigga. I think that must call for some punishment, right? Would I be wrong to assume that? Please, so cool. And as he still has Jogou's hand locked in the very sensual position that it was in, he guts that nigga like 5 times just to make a statement and then starts beating him up in the sexiest way possible. And now obviously this wasn't the extent of it, right? This was just like the prequel to what was to actually come in this fight. And obviously everyone loves a good sensei character. Like, if you want to compare Gojo to anyone, I feel like Kakashi would be the closest, you know, with the mask and the silver hair and whatever. But Gojo had a different attitude about him. That was the difference. This man is so cool. He brought a spectator mid-fight just to watch his beatdown as he's still talking shit. There's just like, again, a certain structure to things. Hey, Yellowstone, this is my student. Itadori Yuji, don't worry about him. He just came to watch this one-sided fight, but he's just gonna sit here and watch while I pop those little champagne corks out of your head top. And I mean, you don't gotta worry about him much anyway, because, like, you know, yo IMO type shit. But no, so Jogou pops his domain expansion for the one and only time in the series, and we see all his momentum just completely halt. Gojo pulls down his mask and his eyes are looking like the fucking Milky Way galaxy. I mean, this was basically the equivalent to him pulling his pants down, if we're being honest, because that's how people were acting about this shit globally when it dropped. And right from that moment, not only the woman in the world, me too, this affected the men too. I am a victim of this gaze, because I'm a straight male adult, but my shit did a little ollie in my pants. My shit jumped a little, just like as respect towards his game at the time. I remember it was just one, but like, you know, that just doesn't happen for, you know, like that's not happening for your average nigga. You know, it's just not. Yoki Tenkai, infinite bitches. This is the inner world of aura. It's ironic, isn't it? In a world full of aura, one who has such little amounts will feel like they have nothing. Now I'm gonna grab your head because your fate is unacceptable. I'm not gonna let this shit slide. So this is raps. And I mean, if I had to say this was anything, this was just straight up disrespectful. But no, so before we get to example 3, as I said, the criteria is still a little work in progress. Because you can express your light-skinned traits in a psychotic way and also a peaceful way. So it's like, what should I allow? Because this is an exclusive club. I can't just be letting anyone into here. Gojo is making light work of these curses twice. Twice he did this shit in 2 seasons. But right after Jogou, he goes on a little vacay. And you know where he went. I don't even need to go into detail. He went to bars to find middle-aged women and steal them from their husbands. That's just what he does. And again, no one said that light-skin shit was like good work at times. You know, sometimes these niggas are evil and Gojo leans on the evil side of the spectrum when it comes to his antics. He just does. Like, and that's like, I don't make the rules. That's just how he presents himself. He just seems like the type of guy to go about that in a respectful way, of course, but he doesn't care about the repercussions because why would he? And that's why I like the diversity within this lounge in the months and years to come, because you could have villains and you could have soldiers of God in here. They all come together due to one thing and one thing alone. And Gojo comes back from his vacation to the Bahamas and he gives us another iconic look. Look number 2 right here, looking down on Hanami from the heavens above, and then cues up his own OST just to flex on everyone. Like, this was playing from like satellites, like everyone could hear this shit playing. And this OST was so good, I still listen to this shit today when I'm cracking some Johns. Tempo and everything. Handing out some dot shots in that motherfucker, you know? I'm just like this. I'm like, That's the 4-round burst because they don't expect that. They don't expect. So, I'll be like, No, I'm kidding. I'm a very passive man. That was very vulgar of me. I'm sorry. But no, so he pulls up and we see his first of Hollow Purple, and again, he just knows where he stands in terms of like the food pyramid, and he just causes unnecessary destruction for no reason. Now granted, Hollow Purple's Hollow Purple, but knowing his speed and knowing the type of shit this nigga's capable of, he could have easily teleported to Hanami or done something to get close point blank and give her a fucking right elbow. But he just wanted to like be extra and look cool, and that's exactly what he did. Because I remember watching this the first time in the heat of the battle, right after watching Itadori and Todo put the fucking cuffs on Hanami, and then hearing this OST, I may have been twerking. It was definitely getting close to that point. And this is an OST you could play at the fucking club and everyone be going crazy like that. This is just what he does. This is just what he does. Like, look at this. Why'd he throw this hollow purple so majestically? Puckering his lips and everything. Who's he kissing? Look at the pose. Look at it. Look at the stance. But no. And then in season 1, there are just a couple other little hints of it, you know, with when he was speaking to Megumi during Golden Hour. Golden Hour check. This was such a small part of his resume, but like this was there. Because I remember niggas talking about this scene too. Just because of how the sun was kissing his face at 5:36 p.m. And then him pulling up to baseball in his little Ray-Bans and button-up shirt. Like, you know, so there were a couple other little pieces to this pie. But then season 2 came along.
And you see, the Gojo that we see at the beginning of season 2 is completely different from the Gojo that we see at the end of season 2 and who we see in season 1. Because like the type of dude that he was sort of the equivalent to like when you already had a good looking nigga in school who happened to be sitting under the projector, it falls on his head so he gets a check because he sues the school, and then purchasing some sort of exotic car with that money, pulls up to school the next day and all the fiends are now swarming him, not leaving anything for the rest of us. Like, look at his first appearance in season 2. Look at this smug ass smirk on his face. He knows exactly what he's working with under those shades, and that's the cockiness and confidence of a light skin. I can't criticize him for this, but you could tell he was just coming into his own with this shit. He knows the abilities that he has, and not even just that. Look at him at this lay with the left hand throwing no looks at Geto, and Geto, I really feel bad for this nigga during this time because he was trying his hardest to keep up, but there was nothing he could do, bruh. there was absolutely nothing he could do because his innate light skin energy was just rising by the fucking day, and Toji was the best and worst thing that could have happened to him, honestly. But if I was Geto too, I'd have went off the rails. My eyes really hurt. This is why I keep these glasses on all the time. Like, why can't everyone just have as much swagger as me? Satoru, you have to understand that you're an anomaly, and if there's an odd one out, it's you. And hold up, watch me pull this real quick. Yeah, keep on adding bricks to that house, buddy. I don't know what you're spewing, Suguru. All I know is that you got no flick in that wrist, and you got no riz in that lip. That's all I motherfucking know. So quit making yourself feel better by spouting this nonsense. Satoru, you know better than me. We could take this shit outside right now. I'm not doing this. Boy, I'll beat you so bad, I'll make your curses think you're a cursed bitch. Don't try that shit with me. Are you crazy? And not even just that, when he pulled up to Amanai's classroom, and he had the whole female population at the school going fucking bonkers. Had the teacher willing to put herself in prison for this nigga. Handed out her number, and you know I like cougars. So if I was in his position, I would have pocketed that shit. That shit would have been in my right pocket. He was out of fucking control. The way that he was beating these people with the bags on their head, showing us a flashback through the lens of his glasses. Who the hell is doing that? But yeah, no, as I was saying, he needed Toji. Toji was a blessing to him. They both humbled each other at the end of the day. And you know what they say, with every upper echelon light skin comes an underrated dripped out instigator. And that's exactly who Toji is. And I'm sure mentally Gojo was crashing out when Toji got the best of him and left him all bloody on the floor with bugs crawling over him, because everything he's worked for in life, basically, or in all of those points, negative. And because of that, one of the most notorious displays of light skin, I think, in anime history was born from this moment.
When he became one with the sun and he started absorbing the vitamin D like a fucking plant. And this whole sequence was just filled with chalant and nonsense. The amount of demore that this nigga was spreading throughout the battlefield was second to none, really. Like, this was something special. This was 2016 LeBron. Told you, I think I just learned reverse curse technique. I had not been able to do that shit up until now, so this is just like a milestone in my development, dog. I just don't get it. But like, that aside, do you feel this sun right now, bruh? I feel like I have a force field of just swagger on me right now, nigga.
I think I might have to call animal control for this, brother. He's damn near foaming out the fucking mouth. What the fuck is going on here?
This is the true essence of light skin energy. Yes, it is. Light skin energy? What type of rubbish are you talking about, boy? Square the fuck up. Oh yeah, we're fighting. I guess you're right. You're so right. Yeah, and check this dodge. As soon as this dodge came into play, and the hair was wavy, slow motion, and that OST came on and he's upside down again. Another instance unnecessary. Why? Like, why? And again, like, I know that he just basically discovered sliced bread type of shit. Like, this is a big breakthrough for him, but the performance he put on was just legendary. And he could have easily, after hitting that red, as Toji is on the floor, like staggered and stunned, he could have blitzed the nigga and like took his head off right there. But you know what he decided to do? He decided to absorb more energy from Golden Hour, taking full advantage of it. I've never seen a nigga take advantage of Golden Hour like this, ever. And I mean, I really can't blame him, because once he found that breakthrough with the light skin technique, I mean, I would be addicted to that too. And I don't think his eyes have ever looked better, honestly. I think this was like maximum capacity of what he could handle at the time. I mean, this shit was really doing something to me, and it wasn't sexual, you know. It really wasn't. It was sort of like humanly, It was a similar feeling like when I went to Scotland and I went to the mountains and I was just standing in like this big ass field. That's the type of feeling that I was getting right here. Yeah, but no, we see him dodge this shit twice, second one in slow motion, and the sun really started shining on this nigga. And then they started playing Beethoven or something, and I knew it was game over. I'm sorry, I'm not even angry at you right now. I'm not even angry at anyone. I bear no grudge. It's just that the world feels so very wonderful right now, and I never knew I could get to this spot. I just feel the need to pucker my lips and raise my eyebrows with the sun kissing my face. And throughout all snow bunnies and black beautiful queens, I alone am the honored Lightskin. Take the white, mix it with the black, and what do you get? Imaginary technique. Golden brown. And right then is when the energy fully shifted. Right there and then. Lightskins took over with that ability in the Jujutsu world. And no, I mean, I would say that was like the biggest and most notable instance of Lightskin activity from this nigga.
Briefly, I just wanted to speak about the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero incident because I feel like many mistook Gojo's actions here for racism, and that's not what it was. It may come off that way. That was definitely a beatdown, but then, I don't think it was that though. I think it was fear of change. My hypothesis with this is during this movie, the Great Shift was occurring. If you don't know what that is, look it up, and it just makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense as to why he was so violent with his actions here, because he didn't need to do this. He didn't need to show off the 20-piece McNugget combo with a large fry and a large blue Powerade light ice. He did not need to show that off at all, but he did, because he was trying to kind of show off and prove to everyone that Lightskins should still be as powerful as they once were, but that just wasn't the case anymore. And I think he was just scared for that.
You know, and that's really like the main shit I wanted to touch on. You know, and it's like there was the whole Shibuya train station incident, and it's like I could go into detail about that, but I feel like I got my point across. You know, it's like when he was at the train station, he was huffing and puffing, and he was trending on the internet just for taking deep breaths before the episode even came out when they showed the preview of it.
And nigga, before I knew it, after the 30-second trailer, my pants were off, and that wasn't even on my own accord. So I could only imagine like the people that wanted to actually take their pants off. You know what I'm saying? This whole scene was dangerous in itself in so many ways. He's grabbing Jogou and his gooch is all over Jogou's clavicle. We just had to sit here and watch this disrespectful ass beatdown, and it had me at the time feeling bad for the curses. Like just seeing the straight terror on Jogou's face had me feeling like Gojo was the villain. And we already know about him grabbing Hanami's handlebars and ripping her internal organs out of her fucking cranium. And I feel like the anger that he was letting out here, if this was even anger, this seemed more like enjoyment and a good time. But I feel like this stemmed from that basketball scene with Geto, because he was talking shit to Jogou. Jogou, I told you once before and I'm not telling you again. That fate is unacceptable. I gave you one chance to get this shit handled. So now, just as there were consequences for wiping your ass with your hands, there will also be repercussions for this. Not only will your barber suffer, but your photosynthetic friend behind me is also gonna suffer right now, because I'm sick to my fucking stomach looking at that stupid ass mountaintop on your scalp. And then lo and behold, he also hits the slut me out walk as he is eradicating Hanami off the face of the earth just from the pressure of his light skinned smile. And then as Jogou is running away, there was no reason to get up onto the barricade like this in this anatomical ass position. Like there was no reason at all for him to have his arms so scientifically proper. And then look at him again, he starts doing the walk. There it is. Yeah, and I mean, I think the best way to cap off his light skin reign of terror for the time being is him popping that 2-second domain expansion and running through the crowd, ripping off however many curses heads he ripped off, because you know once the narrator gets involved in an anime, the show's either getting way too good or way too sexy. And this was a bit of both. The narrator talking about how he did that in 299 seconds, which I feel like is a good estimate of time to show how he would be after 299 seconds of something else. Because I don't know, I'd be huffing and puffing like this after 29 seconds. I'm just being honest. But yeah, no, so that's all I got for Gojo right now.
And I just feel like all in all, the birth of this nigga, as I said earlier, destroyed the balance of the world, because there has never been a nigga born with stock light skin qualities like him. He had people like Toji hating on him from day one, just because he saw what a danger he was going to become to the dating pool. As soon as Gojo looked back on that nigga, basically asking him to swing, and I'm looking at this right now and I want to punch my fucking monitor in, because I feel like he's trying to take my spot as facilitator of this whole lounge. And from that moment on, Toji was plotting to get rid of him from when the nigga was like 7 years old. He was walking down the street, going to get a snack at the gas station, has snipers lined up on the rooftop, getting ready to take him out, and he just looked at him and they ran away in fear. This is the type of man that we're dealing with. And this is why he's the first member of the lounge. And I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it yet. I feel like I should have like a president of the lounge, whether it be for the year or until someone just makes a better case for president of the lounge. But I mean, for first member, I feel like Gojo's the perfect candidate for it, and he's gonna be president of the lounge for now. So that's the video. I thought it was a fun time. If y'all like this and would like me to continue, I'm probably gonna do a couple more anyway. but this was a very experimental video and I enjoyed making it. If you have any suggestions for people to be inducted into the lounge, I guess put them in the comments. Subscribe to this channel if you stayed for this long, and subscribe to the second channel. I'm trying to hit 100K on this one by the end of the year and 1,000 on the other one. And I think with Gojo being the first, I think we already know who the second video has to be about, and I don't have to name any names. But without further ado, on to the next one. And yeah, that's it.